So I want to talk about people with Blackberries. And I guess it's sort of an issue that I have with them. Not everybody, I'm sure not everybody does this, but you know, whatever. Yes, I have a Blackberry. And I know I make the same mistake too. I have a Blackberry. So I'm not knocking people with Blackberries for having a Blackberry. No, that is not why. Because I am pro Blackberry, I am pro Apple. I think they're both great for different things. And I've got a Blackberry, I've got an iPod Touch, I've got a MacBook. I use it all, so I can't really pick. This is not a discussion about which one's better. So if you don't have a Blackberry or have never heard of a Blackberry, well, okay, you've probably heard of a Blackberry if you are alive. If you don't have a Blackberry, you're not really sure what everything you can do on Blackberry, let me just give you some background information before I go into my little rant. So Blackberry has this program called BBM. You probably hear people talking about, oh, send me your PIN, BBM me, whatever. Or on Facebook, I know tons of times people put like their status is their PIN, and then there's a combination of numbers and letters. So Blackberry, BBM is Blackberry Messenger. So it is a messenger program that connects people with Blackberry specifically, and they can like text each other. It's like instant messaging just specifically for a Blackberry, even though you could just text message. So you instant message somebody on BBM. You send it, then there's a little checkbox or check mark that pops up beside your message, just like a text, just a little check mark, saying that that you hit send, and then there'll be a little D. It turns into a D later, meaning that it was delivered, and then R means it was received or read. That's how I take it. So one of the reasons I wanted BBM was sort of to see if people were ignoring me, I guess. But actually, no, I wanted a Blackberry for a lot of different reasons. I wanted a new phone. I heard about all the cool stuff, and my parents have Blackberries, so I was like, well, I guess I should just join this bandwagon eventually. The thing that I want to talk about, like people who use BBM, and because I have BBM as well, I can tell if my message was actually delivered to you and if it was actually received or read. So sometimes I'll send a message to somebody, check mark, and then it'll turn into a D, and then it'll say R. So I'm like, oh yay, they're gonna read it, they're gonna respond. Yay, I'm excited, I wanna hear from them, whatever. R, so it says read or received or whatever. However you wanna interpret it. Either way, it only goes to an R if they've actually read it, which means they've seen it. It's not just when it gets to their phone. It's like when you open it, I think. So hopefully, or else this entire rant is pointless. So, so I'm like, yay, they're gonna send it. But then they don't. And they still don't. And I wait a couple hours, nope, still nothing back. Oh, you know, it's the middle of the work day, you know, I'll let it go. And they might be in school, or they might be at work, or, you know, driving. So you wait a couple hours later, day later, a few days later, week later, maybe 2 weeks later, actually. I feel ignored, and I know that you've read it, but you've chosen to not respond. And if you've read it and you just ignore it, like even if it's me saying something nice to you, like have a great day, thanks, or maybe okay, I'll talk to you later, that takes like 2 seconds. And like if you have a Blackberry or a fancy phone, you can probably text super fast. Like, I can text super fast. I could text you like a paragraph in probably under 30 seconds, like a huge paragraph. Like, so, I mean, it takes half a second to text hit K and hit send. If you're busy, just text me and say that, okay, I'm busy. Instead of ignoring me for weeks at a time, or be like, look, I've got a lot of work this week, I'll message you next week. But yeah, it's just kind of rude. I mean, don't ignore people. They can see if you're ignoring them. There is also the possibility that somebody read it while they briefly just clicked on it while they were driving or something and didn't actually pick it up or respond, because that would be bad driving. But if they just kind of looked and was like, oh, so-and-so messaged me, I'll get back to it later. And then they, you know, you get caught up with things. Things happen, you know, like, you know, when you're like walking across the house or across the room or walking around, like you're on a mission to do something, and then you get stopped part way, and then you get into this whole new conversation, and then you have no idea what you were actually doing before that happened. Maybe that's what happened. So like if you're driving, oh, I'm driving, I'm not a bad driver and I don't want to get a ticket, so I'm just gonna kind of, oh, it's from so-and-so, okay, I'll get back to them later. So I get home, keep driving. Oh, I gotta go to the bank. So you go to the bank. Saw somebody start talking at the bank, leave the bank, go home. And then, oh, somebody calls you, or, you know, whatever. And then you've got some homework, or maybe you've got something you needed to do, something else, you went to go work out or something, and completely forgot about the BBM. Okay, you know, that happens. That happens to me all the time. I'm sure I do that lots of times. And I'm sure that happens to other people, and I'm sure they're not ignoring me. People are human. I can deal with humans. I am a human, and I can deal with that. So you forget about it. You go back to your Blackberry, let's check out BBM, let's see what's new, updates, things like that. You can see all your conversations unless you automatically delete them right away. I don't know if that's an option. I don't on my phone, but that could be an option. And you see, oh look, I remember so-and-so messaged me and I totally forgot to respond like a week ago. I feel really bad. So you message them back, being like, oh, sorry. For the most part, I will assume that it's not a Blackberry problem. But because I'm kind of a nice person, I usually give people the benefit of the doubt. But when it's like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and I hear nothing, that's just kind of, come on. When you don't answer, like, it's not nice. Don't do that. It takes 2 seconds to say K or I'm busy right now. So, I mean, just do that so that people aren't waiting around for you or aren't assuming the worst. It's like, they're ignoring me. Oh my gosh, they hate me. My life sucks. Remember, R is for realize. Realize that I can see if you're ignoring me. But yeah, at least if you're gonna ignore me, try to hide it. Like, at least, or just be like, look, I don't want to talk to you or something. Yeah, like R is for realize, remember. So yeah, next time you get a BBM, or if you're considering getting a Blackberry, you should probably listen to this. And if you feel like you're ignored already, I don't think you should get a Blackberry because you won't get BBMs back right away. Kind of like me. Realize that I can see that you're ignoring me or you're not responding. It takes 2 seconds to say, okay, that's all I ask. All right, that is all.